anything that you need to do that's a common expense for your business will be given back to you, because the way that the tax code works, it doesn't protect the individual. Honestly, and I know that sounds terrible, it doesn't care about individuals.
Right.
It cares about protecting businesses. So if you have your, even if it's just you are not your business legally. You're protected. Your business is protected. I take people out for dinners for my firm, and those dinners are deducted because it's a business expense. Clothes I may wear for Instagram, right,
Hmm.
are deducted because it's an
Right.
expense. So there's a lot of things that you can do with an LLC that's just better, and it protects you more. And like I said, I know, it's $100, $200, but I'm not hating on anyone. I'm not calling
Yeah.
anybody out. But
Right.
I know a lot of producers who spend a lot more money on a shoe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's just, maybe not buy that next pair of J's. Take that J money, put it into your LLC, get that money back at the end of the year, and then buy yourself two pairs of J's with what you saved.
Right. Welcome to Platinum Lyrics and Beats Podcast. I'm your host, Trey Boy. I teach aspiring music producers how to create and sell dope beats online without the confusion and frustration of wondering where to start. Thank you for chiming in and supporting the channel, giving us thumbs up, man, and helping us um, rank high in the podcast world. Today I'm excited because we have a intelligent, bright thinker in the lab, in the studio. Today she's an entertainment lawyer. But before I bring her on, I would like to share a clip that I saw online with Pharrell, where he was talking about the music business. There's two sides of the music business, and one side is the creative side, and the other side is the business side. All right. If you're listening to music and you're not taking care of the business side, you're setting yourself up for failure, right? So, our guest today has the sauce when it comes to the music business. So, let me not keep you guys waiting. Welcome to the show, the Latte Lawyer, Samara.
You got it. Perfect. And latte, you like excellent pronunciation. Wonderful. Yeah, hi. Nice
Right.
to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you again. Yeah, inside joke. That's crazy, man. How you doing? How's everything going?
You know what? Pretty good. I can't complain. So, how about yourself?
Everything's going great. Now everything is going great. Yeah. For to get started with everything, I just want the people to know a little bit about you and what you do. What exactly does an entertainment lawyer do?
Okay, so I've had time to think about this question.
Hmm.
So an entertainment lawyer, I think most people, and rightly so, think we handle IP, so your copyrights and your trademarks. And that's important for artists because that's what you're giving to the world is your art, right? So you got to protect that. But what we also do is we help artists, mostly independent artists, establish their businesses and then do ongoing legal consulting. So once somebody's already created their business, like what licenses do you need? If you're hiring an employee, what like documents do you need? What contracts do you need? So there's that part of doing the contract, but then that's part of also being a consultant. So attorneys are also called counselors. So we do the work of preparing the paperwork for you, but we also counsel you through any kind of legal issues that you may have, or we protect you from future legal issues that could come up because you already had legal planning and strategy. So it's all of that being an entertainment attorney.
Okay, sounds good. That's a lot. That's a lot. Uh, how did you get started being an entertainment lawyer?
I stumbled into it, honestly.
Hmm.
I feel like people think I'm not being as completely honest as I should be because I am like, oh, I have trouble talking to people, but like people are gonna see this and be like, she looks like she's not having a problem. Um,
Right.
but my first job was in personal injury, a medical malpractice, and what we call toxic torts, so class actions, where people are suing big companies for damages that they've done to a big group of people. Then I ended up doing property insurance litigation, commercial litigation where businesses sued other businesses. Then I worked for the state of Florida. I got really sick of working for the state of Florida in the court system
Okay.
and for a lot of reasons. Mostly also because there's a lot of injustices that happen there.
Okay.
Without going too far into it. So I did something that you're not supposed to do. I got sick of working there. I finally was fed up. I quit on a Friday. I made the scheduled email for Monday. So like I wasn't gonna show up and they were gonna get a pop-up email that Monday.
Oh
And
wow.
then I started my firm on that Monday and my friend helped me carry my boxes and get my stuff out of the office.
And you were gone.
I was gone. Gone. Super gone. So
Wow.
gone, like Monica. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Wow. Well, that's good. You're doing something you love now. So that's
Yeah,
great. That's great.
yeah.
Listen, you have helped me in the music business, and you helped me to look over contracts, very important contracts as well. You were like, Trey boy, there's some things I'm concerned about. Um, I want to look over this with you. So you have the knowledge that most music producers would love to have, but we're too busy making beats and producing, and we got a lot going on, right? So, what advice would you give a music producer looking over, as far as looking over the contracts they may not fully understand?
Okay, so I'm gonna go full attorney mode here and just say it's not advice unless you're a client. So what I would
Okay.
be giving you is general information and education. But and it also depends on the contract, but most of the time when we're dealing with producers, you're dealing with beat, what they call beat leases,
Okay.
or beat transfers completely. So I would say when you're doing these beat leases, or if you're getting contacted by a major label, let's break it up into two pieces. If you're doing the beat leases, make sure that when you do an exclusive lease, it's actually exclusive. I see a lot of times on BeatStars, people will say something is exclusive and then it's exclusive to 20 people. When you do that, that's called fraud and somebody can sue you for that.
Oh
So
wow.
you want to make sure that if it's exclusive, it's actually exclusive. So otherwise, just be upfront on paper and say it's non-exclusive. If you are getting something from a major label, I would always tell you look at something called the approved sample. That's super important. So a lot of times, and I understand there's what should be and there's what is. So I understand that, especially with the history of hip hop, sampling is a big part of it. But if you're going to be giving, well, actually, if you're going to be assigning, so completely transferring ownership of your beat to a major label, a lot of people don't know that a major label won't cover your sample unless you already tell them A, that it's there, and B, they approve the sample. If they don't approve the sample, and let's say you use I'm going to just use Kendrick Lamar, right, as your example. Use the Kendrick Lamar track, you sampled even 2 seconds of that. Kendrick Lamar's people find out, they sue the label, and let's say it's a judgment of plus attorney's fees, probably 250K, then the producer is liable for that, and they got to
Wow.
pay the the actual attorney, not the attorneys, the label for that.
Wow.
So I
Wow.
always, and that's what I'm fighting with somebody now on a approved sample situation. Always make sure that all of your samples that are in your beats are approved and also paid for by the label, and that you're not liable for it. If not, just take the sample out and don't use it. 9 times out of 10 is usually like something at the beginning of the
Right.
song or maybe in the middle that doesn't actually hurt the record or the beat if you take it out.
That's yeah,
Does that
that's
make sense?
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So that lets me know, and a lot of other young producers out there know how important it is to have someone professionally look over their contracts. I think that's very important, personally. Can you break down what sync licensing is?
Oh, sure. So, sync licensing is my favorite topic because it's the one place in music where you get to keep your actual ownership of your song and you get paid, usually on time. So,
Right,
that's a wonderful place to be.
right,
But sync licensing is basically just taking your music and syncing it to visuals. That's why it's called a sync license. Technically, if we're going to get into it, there's two types of sync licenses. There's the actual sync licenses, which is for the melody and the lyrics, and then what you call a master use license if they're going to be using your record. So it's actually two licenses, but the process of sync is that just taking a record and putting it to visuals. So anytime your song is put on advertisement, into a movie, TV, that's sync.
okay. That's, I mean, because of sync licensing, we are. I remember back in the day, producers usually could, we were making a lot of money because of the records that were playing on the radio, and the record deals or whatever. But now we actually have like what's it's very popular now, but we have the ability to have our music played on movies and commercials and different TV shows, which is great. So sync licensing is like very popular now, but I would suggest um, you working, and I'm speaking to the audience now, you talking to an attorney, lawyer, before you sign any deals when dealing with sync licensing because it can be very tricky. What's the
That's true. And but just to be not to cut you off, but to add on, I know that it can be expensive. I'm all about being transparent. You already know this. My hourly rate is 250 an hour. That's why I've been doing these group classes to
right?
sort of like teach producers like the main things that you need to know so you can sort of negotiate these things yourself before you're able to get an attorney. But there's a lot of free legal services in each state that you can go to. So I think I know that a lot of people are gonna be like, how am I gonna get an attorney? I don't have the money. That's not an that's not a, I don't want to say it's an excuse, but there are plenty of opportunities for anybody at any budget to get a lawyer. There are law schools that will help law students learn how to practice law by having them look over your contracts for you. So they have intellectual property clinics, they have Harvard Rap Project. There's a bunch of places, and I know that this is catering to new producers who are just getting in. So please like look if you say that you need an attorney to look over something, apply to one of these clinics. It helps out those law students. It helps out that service. It's basically your tax dollars most of the time that are
Okay,
paying for these places.
right.
So utilize it. There's no reason why you shouldn't have any attorney look at your work. There's somebody who can help you at any budget.
That's great to know. Thank you for sharing that, Samara.
No
Um,
problem.
what should creators and producers know about receiving their royalties? I know there are several. I know you could go in on this, but there are several ways that producers can get paid. But what would you suggest they go through?
It's really funny because I just had a conversation with an artist. We were talking for like 2.5 hours today. And we were talking, I was like, oh, if there was like a music university, there should be like artist orientation. Like, you have to sign, like, get your pass and sign the paperwork to make sure that you have everything before school starts, right?
Right, right.
So it's sort of the same thing with your royalties. So I would say basically, first thing that you should always do because it's free, like super free, is sound exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Sign up I had a whole workshop about this.
I
You
know
were
about that.
there. Signed up. Yeah. Sign up as a
Yeah.
performer, sign up as a sound recording rights owner. Just that's the first thing that I would say, like, do because it's the easiest thing to do. It's the freest thing to do.
Right.
Then you want to sign up for your public performance royalties. And that means most artists in the US, mostly you're going to be choosing between BMI and ASCAP. There are other places like CSAC and GMR, but your two main ones are going to be BMI and ASCAP. Make sure to sign up as a writer
Okay.
and make sure to sign as a publisher. And if you're going to do it, make sure that your writer and the publisher are the same.
Okay.
Because if you sign up for BMI as a writer and you sign up for ASCAP as a publisher, you're not going to be collecting your BMI writer
Oh wow.
royalties.
Wow.
So
Okay.
you always have to sign if you're whatever PRO you choose, you always make sure to sign for as a writer and a publisher with both of them, the same one,
Okay.
just for you. Like you can sign for other publishers, but just that's number two. Like make sure to sign up for BMI if you as a writer and publisher or ASCAP as a writer and publisher. With BMI, it's free to sign up as a writer, but then it's either 150 or 250 to sign up as a publisher, depending on the type of corporate structure you have. And then for ASCAP, it's probably the cheapest altogether. It's $100 for everything. To be a
Wow.
writer is $50. To be a publisher is $50.
Okay.
So that's number two. So number one is Sound Exchange. Number two is signing up
The
for
pro.
your PRO, whether that's BMI or ASCAP. And then number three, I would tell every artist because they forget about this, sign up for the MLC. That's the Mechanical Licensing Collective. That gives you your mechanical royalties, which a lot of artists are leaving on the table. It's paid automatically by every digital service provider. So YouTube, Tidal, I would even say like Vimeo. What else is out there? Napster for some reason is
Right.
still on there,
Right.
right? So any of those places, those are mechanical royalties, and that's money that belongs to you. The way that I tell people is like sign up for it because you wouldn't go to a job and not fill out the paperwork to get your
True.
paycheck, right? Same thing for being a producer. You don't go and sell your beats and license them and then not collect the money that's owed to you. Because I tell people if you don't, then what happens is it goes into what they call the black box, and then it goes to the top line artists, usually the top three. That's your Taylor Swift, Drake, and I think now like Bad Bunny,
Okay.
maybe. Drake doesn't need your money. Bad Bunny doesn't need your money. So make sure to collect what's yours. And then I would say number four, which every artist already knows this, I'm sure every producer already knows this, but make sure to also sign up for your DSP. So whatever you're using to actually distribute your records onto the platforms, whether that's DistroKid, TuneCore, CD
Right.
Baby, The Orchard, do that one. And then is there a fifth one, I think? I'm trying to remember. Oh, number five, content ID, if you can, on YouTube. I think a lot of people forget about that. Anytime somebody, because what content ID does is it sees like, is somebody else playing your song without your permission? If they are, you can either have them take it down or YouTube will just be like, hey, this person's using your song. Are you going to allow them to use it? And then you say yes. And that money from those views goes to you
Okay.
as a copyright owner. So I would say those are the things that you want to do. Just to like make redo the list. Sound exchange, you want to do your PRO, either BMI or ASCAP.
Mhm.
You want to do the mechanical licensing collective. You want to do sign up for your digital service, not digital, your digital distributor. Sorry,
Okay.
so
Wow.
DistroKid or any of those, and
Wow.
then content ID. So five. That would be your start, your artist orientation, if you will.
Yeah, that's why we need you guys around because we would be lost. A lot of that,
It's a
even
lot. It's a lot of paperwork.
yeah, yeah, it is. I mean, even in the beginning of my music producing career, I had like, man, I didn't know half of this. I learned it as I started to sell beats and make money from certain ventures. But it's a lot, but it's good to um, I guess have someone to know the ins and outs of it because it's kind of like you can go to the website and fill everything out, but for you to be able to take advantage of it, um, you really need someone that's familiar with it. Because you can fill it out, you can fill out the information, but is it done right? You know, how are you putting the right information? Even the class that you know you had, I think it was about a month ago, the class that you taught
Mm-hmm.
on
Sound exchange
sound the
workshop.
sound
Yeah.
exchange, yeah, sound exchange workshop. We had I fill out the paperwork, but at the same time, there were certain things you were like, okay, Trey, this is where you need to correct, A, B, and C. And I was, as a producer, I didn't know that, so
Yeah.
yeah, so definitely you having, oh, you good. Definitely you're having the classes and everything really helps out. Producers we really have someone on our side with you, so we appreciate you. Um,
Oh, thank you.
yeah,
Happy
yeah,
to be here.
yeah, and I'm serious about that. A lot of us just want to create a lot of the times, um, but as we mentioned earlier, if you want to make money from the music you create, it would be smart to have a business structure. You know a lot about that. Talk to us about the business structure from a producer aspect.
Absolutely. So most producers are operating under their individual names, and that legal entity is called a sole proprietorship. Which, when you're starting out, I think every person who has a business starts out that way. Even me as a lawyer, when I started out as a sole proprietorship. I shouldn't have, but I did. So, as you get, I would say, especially because remember we talked about like your approved samples and maybe somebody sues you. The problem with that is if something happens and there's a lawsuit and it goes against you individually, they can go after all of your assets. So I don't know. There was a song, it was an R&B song, and I always mention so they can go after your cars, your kids, your kid, something, and your dog. You know, you want it all. Like that's what they're gonna go after. But in your case, when you have an LLC, which is what I always tell people if you're starting out, that's the easiest business structure to have. It's super simple, and I'm in probably every state to set up. They're not too complicated. I know you have an LLC in Texas. It's not like it's a very simple process to set one up. You have to pay a yearly fee to keep it going, and maybe you have to pay some licenses depending on what, county you're in, and maybe some state licenses as well. But what happens with that is if somebody sues you or if there's an issue, then you're able to go ahead and they can only go after what's in the LLC,
Got you.
right?
Got
Which
you.
is important. So if your LLC has insurance and it's capped at, let's say, $250,000, I can't go after you personally. So even let's say you're a millionaire, but your business only has $250,000. If you've done everything right and you haven't commingled, then I can't. There's other issues there. But if you've done it, everything's done through the accounts on your business. I can only get what's in the business. I can't get what's outside of the business. So it just conceals and protects you under
Right.
that. And then what's even better is there's expenses you can deduct. We talked about this before.
Right.
Producers, I think art is the only place where you get paid so little at the beginning, but you have to spend so much to start.
Yeah.
Like I know DJs for production, like their DJ turntable equipment is super expensive. Production equipment is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Those compressors that you have, the DAWs that you need to even start producing your music,
Mm-hmm.
the
Right.
computers
The
that you have, which are like
plugins.
spaceships.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That microphone that you're talking on right now,
Right.
hella expensive. So all of that stuff actually gets to be deducted from your business, and then it's an expense, so you are able to get that money back. And also, people need to know, like professional services. When you hire me as an attorney and you use your LLC to pay me, the money you pay me gets to be deducted, so you get that back from
You
the
get that back.
IRS.
Right.
That
It just
all
makes
of that
sense.
stuff is helpful because now, even though you're spending money in your business, anything that you need to do that's a common expense for your business will be given back to you, because the way that the tax code works, it doesn't protect the individual. Honestly, and I know that sounds terrible, it doesn't care about individuals.
Right.
It cares about protecting businesses. So if you have even if it's just you are not your business legally. You're protected. Your business is protected. I take people out for dinners for my firm, and those dinners are deducted because it's a business expense. Clothes I may wear for Instagram, right,
Mm-hmm.
are deducted because it's an
Right.
expense. So there's a lot of things that you can do with an LLC that's just better, and it protects you more. And like I said, I know, it's $100, $200, but I'm not hating on anyone. I'm not calling
Yeah.
anybody out. But
Right.
I know a lot of producers who spend a lot more money on a shoe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's just, maybe not buy that next pair of J's. Take that J money, put it into your LLC, get that money back at the end of the year, and then buy yourself two pairs of J's with what you saved.
Right. Right. See, that's the business side. That's the business side we don't always think about. We're thinking about, spending money and making beats and everything else. But the business side, you need both. I mean, if you don't have both, then you're going to struggle. You really are going to struggle. You're going to miss out on money and opportunities. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And to get all your money back. I mean, I used to be very shy about this, but I'm big on what I call like revenue reparations,
Uh-huh.
right? So
Okay.
we're Black people. If
Yeah.
you can get your money back legally, I think you should.
Right.
And so those deductions are important to be able to get back what you're giving, and then you can put more money into your business.
Yeah.
You can travel, you can get business credit cards in order to meet more people. These are things that you can do to help you grow as an artist, and then also be able to have your business thrive.
Right. Right. Smart, thank you for dropping all the gems, man. Where would we be without you? Where would we be without you?
There are plenty of other lawyers. I'm not putting like I'm the only person, but I'm really
Well,
happy that I can provide this information.
yes, you're the only one on this I'm interviewing right now. So,
Facts.
and you have helped me tremendously. So I am really honored to have you on the podcast. I really appreciate you.
Oh,
All right.
thank you for inviting me. I was really excited to be on here, especially since I already knew you. I was like, yeah, of course I'll
Right,
be on your
right. Yeah,
podcast.
we
Thank you for
already
inviting me.
vibe. Yeah, we already
Yeah,
vibe.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. I have to make an announcement, but when I'm done, I want you to give the producers give us some platinum advice. You can be thinking about that
Oh,
while I'm
education
making.
and information, you got it. Not
That's
advice
that's fine. You can think about it while I'm making the announcement. To all the new music producers, if you like to become a music producer and make dope beats online, I have a gift for you, the Producer's Blueprint. All right, it has everything you need. I'll show you the equipment you need to get started. I'll show you how to create dope beats from scratch. I'll show you how to connect with your fans so you can start selling your beats online. Watching the blueprint will save you time, money, and frustration. It's less than 30 minutes long, and hey, it's free. So you could go to aspireproducerslab.com if you're on your favorite podcast. If you're on YouTube, the link's below. If you're on, whatever you're on, you should see the link below. But you can click the link, watch the free video, and connect with me. All right? So, Samara, give us some platinum education so we can go run the play.
Awesome. Okay, I'm happy to give some platinum education and information on this platinum podcast with a platinum level producer. So I'm excited about this. So,
Sounds good.
I would say, as far as running your production business, don't be afraid to ask for legal help. We're here to, like I said, I know that lawyers, I try to be as not scary as possible, but we can be. So just don't be afraid to do that. And also know that you are probably the most advanced group of artists. You have to deal with that ridiculous ass equipment. Pardon my French, but like it's hard to
Yes.
use. So you're already very smart and educated. So you're gonna be like being able to put your business side together will be much easier for you. So don't be afraid to get into business because you're already dealing with some of the hardest parts of music production. So you're already ready to handle it. It's already within you. And just remember that because mindset is super important when you're dealing with any business. It's not above you, it's not beyond you. You got this handled. And if you need information, there's lots of great free information for you. Like I said, I have a whole series of reels. I haven't gotten to Texas yet, where you can see free legal services that are available in every state. I'm now in South Dakota. I'm gonna be almost done. So I got there. Texas is next.
Wow.
And then,
That's great.
yeah, so that's help there. If you need to know how to set up your LLC and maybe you don't know on your own, this is not a plug, they're not paying me, but LLC University walks you through every single step, how to do it, and they even give you an operating agreement for free to use. So like I said, there are plenty of free resources that you can use to help you get started to at least get that part of your business established. Like set up your LLC for free, get a free attorney for any like templates that you need to start, and then sign up for those royalties. And I think you're good to start with the base of operations for your business.
That's great. That's great. Some platinum education there. All right. Where can the people find you,
Platinum
Samara?
education.
You like that, huh?
I do. It has a nice ring to it. If I ever drop a mixtape, which I won't, that would be the name of it. With you, of course, because this is your platinum production situation.
Let me know if you need some beats. I got you.
Oh, I know who I'm coming to.
That's right.
If you need to find me, I used to be on Twitter, but Twitter is on fire, so I left. Um, I'm not getting involved in that foolishness. So I am on YouTube at the Latte Lawyer. I am on Instagram at the Latte Lawyer, and I am on TikTok at the Latte Lawyer. You will not see any dances there. I did one with my brother. It's still in drafts, and I don't think it's ever going to see the light of day.
Got you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate you, Samara. Have a great day.
Thank you for having me on. This was great.